In this episode of On the Run at the ING New York City Marathon, we'll look back at Hurricane Sandy and see how it affected New York. Then we'll fast forward 1 year later to Staten Island Day to see how far the borough has come. 2011 ING New York City Marathon runner-up and local favorite Janice Daiba will stop by the desk, and then we'll hear the inspiring story of 93-year-old John Mendez, who's attempting to become the oldest finisher in this year's race. Then it's off to Harlem for a taste of some of the music runners will hear along the course. All in this episode of On the Run at the ING New York City Marathon. Welcome to On the Run at the 2013 ING New York City Marathon. I'm Karla Bruning, along with Olympians Carrie, Tollefson, and Tim Hutchings. We've got a week's worth of stories and celebrations to share. Tim, what are you most looking forward to this week?
Where'd you start? I mean, this year, of course, there's so much frustration going to come pouring out on the streets from the elite runners, from the masses, the tens of thousands of runners, and the crowds as well. But in the men's race in particular, I'm looking forward to seeing the reigning Olympic and world champion, Stephen Kiprotich from Uganda, up against the fastest man ever and the defending champion, of course, Geoffrey Mutai from Kenya. That is going to be one of the great clashes in marathon history.
Carrie, how about you?
You know what? There's so many names, but I can't help but be excited about Janice Daiba, who lives here right in the Bronx. This is a city that is so excited to see the marathon take off again, and for her to be the 2011 runner-up, I'm excited to see her battle it out on her home course.
Well, as a citizen runner myself, I'm always excited for those thousands of people who work their jobs, train in the morning, squeeze in those runs, all for this day right here in New York City. So let's take a look at how the marathon celebrations began just a few weeks ago. The 2013 ING New York City Marathon celebration began 2 weeks ago with the inaugural Staten Island Day. Runners from the 5 boroughs and beyond celebrated Staten Island's resilience and helped Hurricane Sandy recovery by racing the Staten Island Half to benefit ongoing storm relief. After the race, there was food, activities, and fun for the whole family. The celebration continued with the Poland Spring Marathon Kickoff, a 5-mile race through Central Park for runners of all ages, marking the official start of Marathon Week. There were runners from all over the world as runners celebrated Marathon Week and Halloween. Festivities continued with the Blue Line painting ceremony, which took on special meaning this year. The addition of a gold line honoring the Boston Marathon symbolizes a joint commitment in Boston and New York to rise above adversity and move the sport of marathoning forward. All week long, thousands of runners, volunteers, staff, and fans will come together to put on the world's largest marathon in the world's greatest city. 26.2 miles make it a race, but you make it the marathon. As this week's race celebrations get underway, it's time to take a look back to last year in Hurricane Sandy, how it affected the city, how far we've come, and getting to that starting line in Staten Island. Last year, Hurricane Sandy struck the northeast coast, causing severe damage in New Jersey and New York. Though the marathon was canceled, the spirit of the race endured. Runners from around the world poured into the Staten Island ferry, eager to help with the recovery efforts.
Marathoners have been coming through, dropping off donations, bringing us food.
Thank you, and I will pray for you all.
This year, thousands of runners made the journey again, this time to celebrate. Today is Staten Island Day and the Staten Island Half Marathon. All proceeds from today's event go to an emergency children's help organization doing a lot of recovery work here in Staten Island. I'm chatting with the men's winner of the Staten Island Half Marathon.
You know, they say it's the loneliness of the long distance runner. You train by yourself, but on Marathon Sunday, it's like our Super Bowl.
With me is Jenn Korea, a Staten Island runner who lost everything during Hurricane Sandy.
We're kind of moving on with our lives. It'll always be a chapter, but that's all it is. It's going to be a chapter. It's not going to define who we are as a family.
There's been a real coming together of the running community and the Staten Island community, and the progress and the commitment is remarkable.
This is a welcome cash infusion to many people that are still not home in a home that's completely refurbished.
With me is Brendan Lunny, the Vic Navarro Award winner for the first FDNY finisher of the Staten Island Half Marathon. What are you most looking forward to with the marathon?
I just want to finish, basically, but it's a huge experience. You know, it's very fun, the start of it, camaraderie with everyone, the fans.
It's been more than just a race here at the Staten Island Half Marathon on Staten Island Day, benefiting ongoing Hurricane Sandy relief. But the countdown is now on for the main event, the ING New York City Marathon, starting right here in Staten Island. With us are NYRR President and CEO Mary Wittenberg and Staten Island runner Jenn Korea. Jenn, you were supposed to run the marathon last year. Hurricane Sandy hit, you lost your home. Everything changed for you. How has overcoming the challenges of last year gotten you here today?
Well, it was the hardest challenge I have ever been through in my whole life. It's something I never thought would happen. And basically, you just have to be strong and you got to get it done. You know, for the kids, we kept moving. And that's really what running's about for me. You just keep moving. You run through it. So coming to the starting line is really the challenge. The finish line is going to be the triumph.
That is pretty amazing. I mean, you've been able to now have a full year to get ready for this race. And we know you've run some races beforehand and you're feeling good. You're ready to roll.
I am ready to roll. I'm trying to enjoy my taper.
Nice. We all do that.
Do you think having the psychology of a marathon runner, where you're running through walls and that sort of stuff, actually helped you recover more quickly? It made you more effective?
I think that being a runner in general has really made me stronger as a person, as a mother, and getting through this past year especially. I mean, we just keep going. You have to run through it. If it hurts, it hurts. But, you know, you just have to keep moving, and you know there's a finish line in sight. I knew Marathon Day was coming, and that's what I was running towards.
As a Staten Island runner, what will it mean to you to be at the start in Staten Island on Sunday?
Well, I love the starting line in Staten Island, and even when I'm not running it, I'm volunteering, or I'm just out there, and then I'm running around the course, meeting up with all my friends, and just sucking it all in. It's the best feeling in the world to have that many runners come to my hometown. It's like taking my two communities of runners and of Staten Islanders and bringing them together.
Now, Mary, what does this year's marathon mean for New York roadrunners and the city?
Well, it means everything to us just to have the opportunity to be here for the city and for our runners like Jenn. And we just, you know, we always love Marathon Day, but this year, you know, really has a feeling of, you know, it's 2 years of the magic in the making. You know, we run this year so much in honor of, in support of so many people like Jenn who were really impacted by the storm last year, and I've got to say we work inspired by them. I met Jenn 2 weeks after the storm last year. She had the sparkle in her eye, and we're going on this run helping in Staten Island, and from that moment, like, that's what stays with me is Jenn at that, you know, 2 weeks after, just already so strong and looking forward, and that inspires us as a team to really, you know, be ready to put on an amazing day for New York, definitely in honor of and support of those affected by Sandy last year, and Boston. Boston is, you know, in our hearts. And so this year's race, which is always about all the stories, all the individuals out there, 45,000 plus, amazing stories, and about our New Yorkers, I think we have an extra special appreciation for it all and an added responsibility to just give everybody the chance to have their best day.
Mary, everybody suffered last year. Everybody has their own stories about the experience of that weekend. But is New York Roadrunners a stronger organization for it? You know, overcoming adversity so often makes you a stronger person or organization eventually.
I think so. Definitely they were our toughest days. But in perspective, the really tough days were Jenn and the others who lost home, lives, family. So for us, it just deepens our commitment. You know, we're such a passionate group about helping and inspiring people through running that you think, well, how much more can you give? And I've got to say, we have given every ounce and are here just so excited and focused on being here for people and all year round. And the opportunity we have at New York Roadrunners is to be, you know, we're in our neighborhoods and in our communities and boroughs of New York all year round. Had we waited a year to have the marathon, that would have been tough. We were able to immediately be back out first, in Staten Island and in the boroughs that need us most with our events and with our people and our runners. So we come here just really, really looking forward to the weekend and the day.
What are you most looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to, it's going to be a real highlight to see Jenn at the finish and every single runner at the finish. But, I've got to say a favorite. I love the whole week, the whole weekend. Standing at the start when everybody's so full of anticipation, and this year where I think the world's going to appreciate that we're in Staten Island, and that moment is always such a moment full of so much expectation, but it's a moment when all these people are standing there ready to go outside their comfort zone, and they're standing there with some trepidation. Can they achieve this major goal that they have in their lives? And we know they can, thanks to the New Yorkers and thanks to everyone that's going to be out there in support. And then seeing them at the finish line is just, just the greatest.
Well, this year we have a local New Yorker who is a contender in the race, Janice Daiba.
Our pro fields, I think, are better than ever and full of amazing stories. And Janice is a real highlight for us. She's like our girl next door. I mean, she's runs in Central Park. She lives in the Bronx. She runs in Van Cortlandt all the time. She's, said, I don't want to live at altitude and train like others are the best in the world. I want to be in New York City. So she's become a New Yorker through and through with that great Ethiopian heritage. And we're just really excited to see her. When she ran in 2011, the Bronx was packed with people really excited to see, one of their neighbors. And I think that Janice is going to get that kind of reaction from all 5 boroughs this year.
Yeah, she's really proud to be a New Yorker. She was up here with us and just so excited. So she's very thankful for what you do for them.
Well, she's a quintessential New York City story, and we're just really excited for her.
Well, Mary and Jenn, thank you so much for joining us. And Jenn, I hope you have a great race out there.
Thank you.
Well, let's hear from another local runner who lives and trains in the Bronx. Janice Daiba is out to win the race.
My name is Janice Daiba. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm living in New York, Bronx. This is my home, this building, my apartment, and nice place. The people is very nice, nice place, nice weather, and the training place is different. Everything is different. Even the food is different too. I love New York very much.
My name is Worku Bey, Janice Daiba. She's my wife.
I met him training place, and when I was 14 years old.
I'm her coach and her pacer, and I'm an agent too. I'm massaging her. Sometimes if she's tired, I'm cooking for her, and I'm doing everything for her.
It's nice husband, nice coach, nice manager. He's my everything.
My goodness, I'm lucky. She's a good lady. I love her very much from my heart. Sometimes she's my coach too. Don't give up, she's saying.
Yeah, never give up for anything. Keep going.
Good luck, runners! This is the 2011 ING New York City Marathon.
There she is in the orange in the front with Bizu on her bib number. She's a 2:23 marathoner, having done that in San Diego. So she could foot it with these women for quite a while.
Janice Daiba closing beautifully for second place. Unofficially, 2 hours, 23 minutes, 19 seconds inside.
Yeah, I finished New York City Marathon 2011, second place. I am happy, but I was thinking I'm gonna win. New York City Marathon is for me special. New York is my hometown, and a lot of people is cheering me, supporting me. My goal is 2013 New York City Marathon. I focus to win. If I'm gonna win, I'm gonna kiss New York at the road. That's special, yeah.
And joining us now at the desk is Janice Daiba. Janice, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bujanish, you have to be so excited to start this race again, being the hometown favorite. Tell us your excitement and your feelings going to the race.
And thank you, the New York Roadrunner. They invited me again. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
You know, you and your husband live here in the Bronx, and there has to be many people yelling your name on the streets. What does that feel like?
Well, I feel good, and you know, they give me power. They cheer me even this year. Everybody's, you're gonna win this year, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Bujanish, was it last year you tried to live in Albuquerque, but you missed New York? What was it about New York that you wanted to come back to?
I love New York. Bronx is my second hometown. Yeah, I miss New York a lot.
So tell us, going into the race, how do you feel and how has your training been? We've seen you've run some very fast 10Ks. You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready, and God is helping me. I'm gonna win. My training is different to 2011. I prepared very well. Yeah.
So we watched a feature of you, and we saw that your husband likes to cook. Does he always cook you your meals when you get home from your hard work?
Yeah, he's a nice husband.
So we need to take lessons from that guy, huh?
Yeah. He's very good cooker, and he's my husband, my coach, my pacer. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
You guys are a good team.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with us, Bujanish. We wish you the best of luck in
Thank
the
you
race.
so much.
Go get
Thank you.
Stay tuned. After the break, we'll hear from Delilah DiCrescendo of Hey There, Delilah fame. We'll also hear about one athlete's incredible journey across America and one of the most spirited runners in the race, 93-year-old John Mendez. All after the break.
26.2 miles make it a race. You make it the marathon. You can watch it live, the ING New York City Marathon, Sunday, November 3rd at 9 a.m. on ESPN2.
Welcome back to On the Run at the ING New York City Marathon. Joining us in the Timex Media Center is local elite runner Delilah DiCrescendo, coach Frank Gagliano, and Robert Johnson of Let'sRun.com. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Well, let's start with you, Delilah. I mean, you are the local favorite, and you have all kinds of acclaim here in New Jersey and New York City with your song and with your running ability. Let's start with your running ability first.
Thank you.
I mean, you know how to tear it up on the track. Now you're tearing it up on the roads, getting ready to run your very first 26.2 miles. What's going through your mind?
I'm super excited. I'm so excited. I love Marathon Week in New York City. I went to college here. I've been here for 12 years on and off, and it is such an exciting weekend. You know, watching the bleachers go up a couple weeks ago, like, you just get excited. You can't help it. I'm really looking forward to lining up for the first time in my first marathon. So really looking forward to it. Hope it's a positive experience.
We were joking about, you know, setting up some barriers out on the course. Nobody's going to put any steeplechase barriers out there for you.
No, I think it'll be challenging enough. I'll be good.
Well, Coach, can you talk a little bit about Delilah's, you know, preparation and how excited you are to see her run?
Well, we're all excited. You know, she's really prepared very well since July 1st, and she's looking real good. And she ran a nice half marathon in Montauk in 1:05, and we look forward to the challenge.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for her as well. You know, Coach, you have been around for I don't want to say forever, but for a long time. I mean, you and I were at Georgetown when you were coaching there, and I was at Villanova, and we've seen each other on the track and on the roads. But, you know, you kind of have helped establish the distance running here in America. Can you talk a little bit about how those different groups that you have established have helped us, you know, see some medals and some Olympians?
In the 80s, we had in Washington, D.C., we had the Sally Mae Track Club. And then we had in 92 to 2000, of course, we had the Reebok Enclave. And then from 2001 to 2006, Vin Lanana asked me to come out with the farm team to take over from Jeff Johnson and Vin in Palo Alto. And then in 2006 to January of 2009, we had the start of the Oregon Track Club in Eugene, Oregon. And then I came back, and I thought I was going to retire for good, and I met Aaron Donahue, Grand Central, I had to pay for her lunch, and she asked me to start training her, and now we have 33 athletes with the New Jersey, New York Track Club in the metropolitan area.
You know, Robert, as with Let'sRun.com, you follow the club running scene and the track scene and all that. How do you think this has affected, you know, the overall American distance running?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, I think that the biggest problem someone has when they get out of college is there's no structure. What do you do now? I think a lot of college runners, I mean, I coached for 10 years, Gax coached a lot longer than that, but a lot of college runners are like, oh, it's going to be so much better when I get out. You know, I won't have school to worry about. And I'm like, you're going to be bored out of your mind. All your friends are going to be 25 years old, going to happy hour, working these jobs. They're going to think you're weird to be running. But when you're in a track club, you don't have to worry about that. You're not some outcast that's still running 60, 80, 100 miles a week. You fit right in with everybody else. Everybody's on the same page. You have a team. I'm sure that helps a lot, Delilah, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Just to have, you know, 2 days a week going out to Rutgers is where we train, and having 20, 25 girls and athletes on the team with similar goals, and we help motivate each other to achieve those goals. We have different goals, different events, but we all want each other to do well, and we get excited when each other does well because that means big things are in store for us.
And you guys do a lot of the New York Roadrunner races. I mean, I know, Coach, you're probably encouraging them to do that right here at home, and they're very good races.
Well, they're tremendous, and the New York Roadrunners has been fantastic to us. And they've been very supportive, and we want to support them, just like the 5K on Saturday, just like the marathon on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the women's field this year, who are you watching when you're here up in New York?
Well, we wrote our preview a few days ago, and we were big on the Kenyans. Edna Kiplagat, obviously the two-time reigning world champion, and Priska Jeptu. I really think Priska Jeptu is the woman to beat. I mean, she just ran a 65-45 half marathon. I think Gag slipped up earlier when he said Delilah ran 65. She ran 75. Yeah. But, I mean, that's just out of this world. I don't think a woman's ever had a performance like that and lost. But, you know, you get here in New York, and that's a big part of the fun is getting the inside scoop and seeing who's training well. And the two Ethiopian women here today, you know, Dado and Beba, you know, they both said they're here to win. And, you know, 2 years ago, Mary Katani was the big favorite from Kenya, and she didn't get the job done. And these two women, you know, they've run 2:23 in New York before. They say they're in better shape than they were 2 years ago. So, you know, if you're below that, you've got a chance. So I do think Jeptu's the one to beat, but there's a reason why they run the race, you know, on the streets of New York and not on paper.
Right. And Delilah, what about you? What are your goals for your first marathon?
I want to be in the 235 to 237 range, something conservative along those lines. Go out in 78:30, 79 minutes, and then hopefully be able to pick it up from there. So I just want overall a really positive, conservative, and I just want gas in the tank when I reach Central Park, and you know, not to have the monkey on my back, I guess. So.
Where's everyone going to be race day cheering you on?
They're going to be split. So I have some friends in Brooklyn, so they'll be there. I'm going to look forward to them in the 6 to 8 mile range. And then along a lot of the Columbia people will be around Central Park, probably First Avenue. That's always where I go. I go to First Avenue to watch people, and then you can jog over. That's like mile 17. Then you can jog over to mile 23 really quick. So yeah, I'll probably have some people there too.
And seriously, how many people will be singing your song?
I don't know. If I'm paying attention to that, then I got bigger problems. No, yeah, so hopefully I just tune that out. I won't even hear it.
That's pretty cool.
Well, best of luck to you, Delilah,
you.
and
Yeah.
thank you all for joining us. There are so many runners who make the marathon what it is. One of them is John Mendez, who at 93 years young is hoping to make his mark on the race.
At stages of life, you have different goals. Some are very important, some are not so important. If you don't have goals in life, you wither away. This is my simple goal, running. Now, if I finish this one, when I finish this one, I will then tie at age 93 as the oldest finisher of the New York Marathon. And you know, is 94 next year? You think we'll make it? I started coming out and going around the reservoir 46 years ago. First morning we saw 2 people. Now when I go around, over 100 people will pass me. Fred LeBeau was a friend of mine. We ran one marathon together. He came in ahead of me. He's a little bit younger, maybe 30 years.
Good luck, my friend. Good luck. Finish strong. I'll be watching.
Okay. I'm home with a camera crew. They might have photographed whoever runs this house here, you know.
It's not me.
This is the finish in the dark. I participated in the Battle of Midway. I went to Harvard Business School. I love this picture. It's a good picture of my wife, Irene. I know I've done so much more than the average person. I made it happen by accident. It ain't over till it's over. I don't know when I'll hit the wall, but I will. And whenever it happens, I will say, here I am, God. Thank you for good health and Irene.
What an incredible spirit. I certainly hope that when I'm 93, I'm still running strong like John.
You're telling me. You know what really struck me was his incredible sort of lust for life, his energy, and yet it was combined with a really nice calmness and sort of confidence that what he's doing is right. I mean, it was, if I'm anything like that at 73, never mind 93, I shall be delighted.
You know what I liked about him? He likes to run, but he loves his wife even more. So, you know, he's a guy after my own heart, so keep it up.
Well, stay tuned for another inspirational athlete, Ryan Chalmers, and his journey across America. And music from the course, the sounds of Harlem, USA.
Run with the team instead of a gang.
Run so fast food can't catch you.
Run to accelerate in the classroom. Run to turn dead ends into open roads.
Run to be a success story.
Not a statistic.
New York Roadrunners free running programs move kids forward and help foster healthy communities. To donate or learn more, visit nyrr.org or call toll-free 855-NYRR-RUN.
.2 miles make it a race. You make it the marathon. You can watch it live, the ING New York City Marathon, Sunday, November 3rd at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
Welcome back to the Timex Media Center at the 2013 ING New York City Marathon. We are joined by para-Olympian Ryan Chalmers, who recently finished a 3,000-mile push across America. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
Now, you have a great background in the sport. You've been on the track. You've done marathons. How did you get into it?
Yeah, I got into wheelchair track when I was very young, actually. I got into the sport when I was 8 years old. I got very lucky. I was actually, I just got done with a surgery, and I was in the hospital, and I met a woman named Joanne Armstrong, who was a Paralympian as well, and she was coaching a team. I'm from upstate New York, and she was coaching a team there and introduced me to the sport of basketball and track, and I just fell in love with track right away. And so I got lucky, got introduced to someone who really saw potential in everyone with a disability and really wanted to show them the sports that we have to offer.
What was it like being part of a program like University of Illinois that's one of the best in the country?
It is the best in the country, and it really helped develop wheelchair sports and really got the attention of other collegiate sports all over.
Ron, I want to ask you about this this push across America. I mean, it was 10 weeks.
Yes.
58 miles a day.
Yeah.
How did you maintain your focus and your enthusiasm for it? Because you must have gone through the same aches and pains physically and mental challenges as anybody else would.
Yeah, physically it was very difficult. The first probably week of the push was some of the most pain I've ever been in a track chair before. But it wasn't actually until day 5 that mentally I really got into it. I was actually pushing through Death Valley, and it was the only time during the push where I actually had to stop. And I got in the RV that was a little bit ahead of us, and I just had that moment of like, okay, why am I doing this? Why did I start this journey in the first place? Why do I want to do this? And then it became very clear. you know, I'm doing it for a great cause. I'm doing it for so many great reasons. And I got in my track chair and I finished it.
You get pretty emotional talking about it. It's a big deal to you.
I do, and I actually, after I haven't really talked about it too much since the push ended a couple of months ago, June 15th, but I do.
Yeah.
You know, it's something special, and, you know, being back here in New York City, it really brings me back to those moments. You know, I finished in Central Park, you know, on June 15th, and now sitting in Central Park, you know, it's special. This is going to be a special race for me, and I think that from the push and from where I'm at now physically, this is going to be the most mentally challenging thing that I've done. And I have to be able to get through that, and it's going to make me a better athlete going forward.
Well, we wish you luck, Ryan. I hope you
you.
have a great race out there, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Today's Cold Hard Moment is brought to you by Coors Light. Today's Coors Cold Hard Moment of the day was the Blue Line painting ceremony at the finish line of the ING New York City Marathon. New York Roadrunners President and CEO Mary Wittenberg was joined by representatives from the Rudin family and the City of New York and partners to paint the ceremonial blue line which marks the marathon route through the 5 boroughs. This year had special meaning when Executive Director of Boston Athletic Association Tom Grilk joined the New York delegation to add a gold line, honoring the Boston Marathon and symbolizing a joint commitment in Boston and New York to rise above adversity and move the sport of marathoning forward. And that's today's Coors Cold Hard Moment.
There are so many amazing moments that make up Marathon Week. Some of them include the music and culture that runners will experience while they're here. Because it's not just runners that make the marathon. There are spectators, volunteers, and musicians too. Here's one of them, Harlem's own Phil Young.
I've been playing music for about 50 years, you know, and I've had the privilege of playing for many, many people all over the world. That world is coming to Harlem on Sunday. Oh, right now we're in Harlem. I love this community. I've been here for a long, long time. You know, this is where Martin Luther King spoke. Up the street. This is where Malcolm X stood on a soapbox and spoke. You know, this is 125th Street. My parents, they opened up the flower shop, Carolina Flower Shop in 1939. Billie Holiday, Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, they all were customers of ours. This flower shop was very important to me. It bought me my first set of drums. I was like 7 years old. My grandfather went to Macy's and bought a set of drums. And from that point on, I started to play drums. People are going to come through Harlem, they're going to see races, colors. It's going to be a very rich cultural experience. They get a chance to see how important it is that we preserve what we have here. I'll be performing at Marcus Garvey Park, which is like the last leg before they get to Central Park. And the music that we play will give them the incentive, the motivation to give them that extra boost. I know that there are going to be some people running by who are going to feel like, I want to quit because I can't go any further. And hopefully we'll be able to play something to make them get that last gasp that'll get them through to the finish line. And we're going to feel good about that. The marathon coming through Harlem on Sunday is a very, very special experience. And I'm very happy and proud to be a musician who's performing here.
More of Phil's amazing story will be featured in the upcoming documentary The Flower Shop, directed by Philly Kay. And now let's take a look at how you can catch all the excitement of Race Week. Experience the excitement of race day no matter where you are. Friday, November 1st, watch the entire marathon opening ceremony presented by United Airlines, live on ABC 7 starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern and on 7online.com.
Saturday, November 2nd. The Marathon Eve Experience will air live on ABC 7 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern from the marathon finish line. Eyewitness News anchors Liz Cho and David Navarro give viewers a primer on what they can expect during the running of the 43rd ING New York City Marathon.
Sunday, November the 3rd, race day. Live race coverage in the New York City metro area will be on ABC 7 from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern and nationwide on ESPN2 from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Viewers can see race highlights too from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and on their local ABC affiliate. International viewers can watch the broadcast via a live digital stream on 7online.com from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern.
No matter where your fans are on race day, they can follow your journey via the web, text, and our mobile app. Track My Runners on the web. On race day, spectators will be able to track up to 10 runners at a time. No pre-registration is required and the service is free. Sign up on race day at trackmyrunners.nyrr.org.
Follow our official Twitter and Instagram feeds on race week, race day, and beyond. Remember, you make it the marathon. So join the conversation using hashtag INGNYCM.
And be sure to tune in to the next episodes of On the Run tomorrow and Friday at 8 p.m. Then a special On the Run at the Dash to the Finish Line 5K will go live on Saturday at 5 p.m. And the recap of the 2013 ING New York City Marathon will go live on Monday at 4 p.m. So stay tuned. There are so many stories already happening here at Race Week at the ING New York City Marathon, but be sure to stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll chat with Boston Marathon champion Wesley Career and world champions Stephen Kiprotich and Edna Kiplagat. Plus, we'll catch up with the One Spirit runners from South Dakota. Carrie, what are your thoughts after today?
Oh, what an amazing day. Getting to meet 3 very different runners from right here in New York City. I can't wait to watch them run on Sunday.
Tim?
I'm kind of envious now. We're talking about this running. I want to get in there and do it with them, although I'd be a long way back. Certainly the elite athletes are what are getting me excited. And to have the 2 freshly crowned world champions from Moscow this summer at the desk with us here tomorrow, that's going to be a special moment.
And for my part, I'm excited to see the One Spirit runners again. They're raising money for their reservation in South Dakota. They were here last year, but they're back to run, finally, the ING New York City Marathon. From the Timex Media Center in Central Park, I'm Karla Bruning with Carrie Tollefson and Tim Hutchings, and we are on the run.